So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Survey Says, where you'll learn about the RIC Custom Survey Service and the MTAS Salary Survey. The session is scheduled for 45 minutes. We will take about 30 minutes for our content and leave about 10 minutes at the end for questions and comments. Feel free to drop a question in the chat or wait until the end, and I'll
Oh, Francis, sorry about that. You got muted for a second there. Apologies.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
My bad.
Okay. So as Lindy said, be sure to if you have a question, drop it in the chat or wait till the end and we'll open it up for questions. We're going to send out a PDF of the presentation after the webinar. But before we get going, I want to introduce myself and my colleague in the webinar today. So I'm Frances Adams O'Brien, and I'm a librarian at MTAS. And Lindy Wibke is also a librarian here at MTAS. So we are going to go ahead and jump into our content and talk about our objectives today. And we will turn off our cameras just to reduce distractions as we get going now. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about what the RIC is, what the survey service is, our custom survey service, why and how do we provide it. I'm going to show you some examples of some surveys. I'm going to talk about how to request a survey, and then I'm going to switch gears and take a look at the annual MTAS Salary Survey. So what is the RIC? It is the Research and Information Center at MTAS. It is comprised of myself, Lindy, and another part-time librarian, Desiree Eldridge. We provide services to MTAS staff and municipal staff and officials. In the RIC, we manage and offer several collections of materials, mainly via Merlin, the research library online. We also provide reference services, which includes assisting you in effectively using our resources and conducting the custom surveys for municipalities and MTAS staff. We also publish the MTAS e-news and manage the social media presence for MTAS. If you'd like to know more about how you can take advantage of our many services, please reach out in the chat and we'll follow up after today's webinar. So why do we provide all of these services, and specifically the survey service? The services provided by the RIC are just one way that MTAS works to meet its mission and goals. Here you see the mission and the particular goal that gives us our direction in the RIC. Our RIC information services provide information that can directly aid you in your day-to-day planning and decision-making. Additionally, information gained through our surveys builds the MTAS body of knowledge, which is available to all via the MTAS website. And lastly, participating in an MTAS survey allows you to connect with fellow cities who also respond to a survey on a certain topic or specific topic. So now we've talked about why we do what we do. Let's talk about what the survey service is. In a nutshell, we contact selected cities, ask for information, and summarize it for your use and ours. This is a unique service that MTAS provides to cities and towns in Tennessee. And like most of our services, we do not charge a fee for these surveys. Our surveys are generally brief and are built to target specific information needed by a Tennessee city or an MTAS staff member who is working with the city. Our custom surveys and the MTAS Salary Survey are exclusively for the use of Tennessee municipalities. We typically complete a survey in 2 weeks from the time the survey is sent out to when we close it and finalize the data report. In terms of our response rate for these surveys, it runs around 30 to 40% completion. Now, before we move on, I want to take a quick pause to see if there are any questions or comments. And while we take this short pause, I want to survey you. I am curious to know two things about our attendees today. Have you ever used our survey services, and have you ever received an MTAS survey? And if you don't mind participating, let's get into it. So you should see a poll on your screen, and there's a couple of ways you can participate if you'd like to. There is a QR code in the top right corner. You can send a text to 22333, and it would be F Adams. Or you can go to pollev.com/F Adams and just submit your response. So have you ever or a coworker ever requested a survey from MTAS? Okay, and then we're seeing our responses. Looks like, let's see, we've got yeses and nos. We've got, it's going up and down, 50-50, 43-57. Great. I appreciate you all responding because this is very helpful to me to kind of get a snapshot. Great. So that's good. A lot of you have used a survey. And now it's half and half. So I guess it's going to keep changing as people participate. All right. Okay. So thanks for that. That's good to know. And the next question is, have you ever received an MTAS survey? My guess is a lot of you probably have. Yep. So if you don't mind, either the QR code or however you'd like to participate, that would be great to know. So part of the reason, while people are responding, I just want to say part of the reason I asked this question now is because I want to take an opportunity to encourage everyone to respond to our surveys when you receive them. I know we all get surveys via email and phone, and most are really annoying, and they can take up to 20 minutes or more to complete. But unlike those surveys, our surveys are, we are actually gathering information to benefit you and your colleagues and to assist our MTAS staff to serve you better. Our surveys generally take about 5 minutes to complete, and we try to keep the questions clear and easy to understand. And best of all, we share the final results with the cities that respond to our surveys before we add them to our Merlin database. So if you've participated, looks like a lot of you have. So thank you very much for participating if you have, and thanks for responding to these two polls. It's very helpful for me to see this information. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of our surveys that we've done in the past. So we've talked about why we provide the service and what the service is. So here are some examples. And the surveys we do, they do run the gamut of municipal government topics, as you can see from this list. The survey topics here were generated both by city officials and by MTAS staff, and are good examples of our standard custom survey. Most of these surveys are no more than 4 or 5 questions and average no more than 5 to 10 minutes to complete. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the 12-hour shift survey on the next slide. And then I did want to point out on this list, the license plate readers. That was a survey that we did. It was a collaboration with the UT Baker Center for Public Policy and Public Affairs. We worked with a professor there to look at the use of license plate reader technology in Tennessee cities. It was very interesting, and the results will be, actually they're already on our Merlin site at this time. It's just an example of a slightly different kind of survey that we do, in that it's statewide and more of a scientific survey. But I just wanted to show you that our surveys do run the gamut. Okay, so I did want to talk a little bit about this, just take a little deeper look at this one survey. So this request, the request for this survey originated with the police chief of a medium-sized city who contacted our police consultant, David Moore. Then David and I worked out survey questions and who to contact that would be most relevant to the requesting police chief and his department. You can see a few of the questions here that were in the survey. And we sent the survey to 143 cities, which matched our criteria, basically population. And we received 55 complete responses. So I'm going to show you now what the results of that survey look like. So the first screenshot here is just a simple Excel spreadsheet of the responses. And then the second is the final formatted version of the data. And if you're interested, we did find that 67% of the survey, of cities surveyed, do in fact use a 12-hour shift. So cities who request surveys are provided both formats of data. So we give them the Excel spreadsheet and a PDF summary report. The formatting is very simple and straightforward. However, we can also provide a report with visual representations and summaries of data if needed. One other point I want to make about our surveys is that they are typically not anonymous, as our goal is to allow cities to connect or contact each other for more information when needed. However, we can certainly conduct anonymous surveys if needed. So in summary, just let us know what you need and we can go from there. And if you don't know exactly what you need, that's okay. We can figure it out. So now you all know about the survey service that we provide, and you think a survey might be helpful to you, how to get started. It's really very simple. Just send me an email or call me. My contact information is right here on the slide. Or you can submit a request to MTAS Library at tennessee.edu. When you do reach out, it would be helpful if you could provide some general information, like what your questions are you're thinking of, what your timeline is, so we can make sure we can meet that, who you think we need to contact, and if you want to limit your list of cities to contact by, say, population, grand division, charter type, or if you have a specific list of cities in mind, let us know that as well. However, again, if you do not have this all worked out, it's not a problem. We can talk through all of that when we get in touch. All right, so now I'm going to take a quick pause, see if there are any questions before I switch over to talk about the MTAS Salary Survey. Yes, and Lindy has put my email address and the MTAS Library email address in the chat. So if you have any questions or want to be in touch, just grab one of those email addresses. All right, so let's take a look at the MTAS Salary Survey. So this MTAS Salary Survey is another information resource provided for cities and towns. This annual survey is a tool which provides general salary information for selected positions. I'm going to do a quick overview here in PowerPoint, and then I'm going to jump over to the web to give you a look at it. So for the salary survey, we collect data annually and roughly on the fiscal year cycle. The data collection cycle starts in August and runs through June. We close the data collection for a month in July for database maintenance, and then open the system back up in August to collect the current fiscal year data. We try to time the data collection to start after municipal budgets are passed and the new salary information is available. We collect salary information for 175 positions. It is not expected that every city will have all of these positions, and likewise, your city may have even more than that. But the list is meant to hit the highlights and present a general sampling of municipal personnel. You only provide salary for the positions that you have in your city, obviously. And once a city participates by submitting their salary information, they have access to the salary dashboard to run reports as needed. Cities that do not participate may also request data through their MTAS consultant. And in case you're wondering, there is no charge for this service. And best of all, our MTAS HR consultants are available to assist you as you enter your data. They review the data before it's published, and they can help you interpret the data in the reports. So let's jump over to the web, and I'll show you the salary survey. And if you have any questions, pop them in the chat or just let me know while I'm switching screens. Okay. So hopefully, Lindy, give me a heads up or something. If hopefully you're seeing my browser screen.
Seeing the MTAS salary landing page. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. So this is the MTAS Salary Survey landing page. You can get to it from the MTAS website. On the main navigation bar, we have information with a drop-down menu, and you would click on Salary Survey, and it will take you to this landing page. There are a couple of things I want to look at on this page. Primarily, here is your MTAS HR consultant contact information. There's also a link to contact us, and that actually sends an email to salaryinfo@tennessee.edu. And then over on the right is where you would log in if you have already set up an account. You also have a link here to reset your password. And if you've not registered as a new user, here is a link to set up an account. And I'm going to give you a quick look at how that works. It's pretty easy. So you put in your first and your last name, whatever your title is with your city, your email address, and you create your own password. And just a note on passwords, we don't maintain passwords for you. So again, if you do forget your password, we've got a link for you to reset that. And then you need to select your city from the drop-down list. And then you hit the register button, and that will send excuse me, got allergy stuff going on. That'll send me an email that someone has requested an account. So what I will do is check to see if you are already, or if someone from your city is already a member in the salary survey. If you have an organizational administrator already on board in the salary survey, they will also be notified that you've requested an account. And the way it's supposed to work is that they will approve your account for you. What we try to do is have one person kind of maintain all of the users for each city in the salary survey. However, if you're the first person, I go out and I double check that you are actually someone from a city, and then I would approve your account, and you will get a notification email when that's been approved, and then you can come log in. All right, so I am going to log in and show you how that works. Okay, so I've logged in. And this is what you're going to see when you land inside the salary survey. First, you'll see any surveys that you are working on. I have one that I've started, but not submitted. And then this is how you get to the reporting dashboard. If you have not started a survey, you'll just see a button that'll say Start Survey. What I want to focus on today is the reporting dashboard. So when you actually get set up and your city has submitted data, then you will have access to the salary dashboard. So let's show that. You click on View Report, and that brings up this dashboard. So you'll notice there is a map in the middle, and that shows everybody that has responded to the salary survey for the fiscal year FY25. And you'll also notice a table under the map, and that is showing everybody that's responded for a particular position. It lists all the positions alphabetically and then the cities that have responded with their county information, how many full-time employees they have in that position, their population, total full-time employees for the city, the minimum salary for that person in that position if it's one person, and then their actual annual survey or salary information. Sorry on the brain. Over on the left, this is how you can pull your reports. So we've got the big orange export data button. You can select different fiscal years. If you want to do multiple years, you do need to run 3 or 4 different reports, depending on the year. Let's just change this one to FY24, since that year is complete. You'll notice the map is changing as I'm selecting filters. So the next filter is for position. So if you're looking for specific positions, you can come in here. I recommend unselecting and then searching. So I'm going to look for city reporter, and you select the position. And then I'm going to also bring in city manager. And I'm not going to do the assistant. Okay, so we'll click back on the button to make the filter disappear. I'm not going to filter it by Grand Division or any of these others, but you have Grand Division. You can filter by county, by specific cities, population range. I am going to select. I'm going to unselect the ones I don't want. And you can see the map is changing as I filter it for population. And I'm going to click back on population range to make the filter go hide. And then I'm going to just click on export data. And now what this will do is produce a spreadsheet. And I'm going to bring that up so you can see what that looks like. It's very basic. It has basically the same information that you were seeing on the screen for the reporting dashboard. It's a CSV file. And this will be the cities that chose to respond to the salary survey in FY24 for these positions. So of course it's voluntary. So we won't have every city in the state. I think we get somewhere around 80% of the cities. So there's 345 cities. We get somewhere around 150 to 200 cities responding to the survey, which is pretty good. Okay, I'm going to get back to our PowerPoint now. So that is all of the planned content for today. We've looked at our custom survey service for cities, what it is, how to take advantage of it. And we provided a demonstration of the annual MTAS Salary Survey. And now I'd like to hear your questions or comments. If you have some things that have been put into the chat, we'll talk about those now, or feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question or give us a comment. Went through it all pretty quickly, but I do want to be respectful of your time.
Thanks, Francis. And I'm just going to chime in to say I've been keeping an eye on the chat. I don't see any questions unless one slipped past me. But we'll give everybody just another moment in case they're entering questions now.
Oh, thanks, Lindy. You're welcome, Melissa. So we do hope you guys will take advantage of our services, the custom surveys, the MTAS Salary Survey, and of course, our excellent consultants. And you all already know about that. So however we can help, let us know. So as we wrap up, let's see, somebody who's trying to get into the meeting. I just have a couple of final notes. Please contact us or your MTAS consultant anytime if you think a survey will help, or if you have any questions about the annual salary survey. Email us, call us, and we'll get back to you promptly. If we have your email address, please look for a follow-up email from Desiree, Lindy, or myself with a link to a webinar evaluation along with a PDF of the presentation. We do have 2 more webinars in our RIC Connect 2025 series, and I've popped these up onto the screen for your information. We do hope you'll join us in August or October. In August, we're going to talk about that license plate reader survey results, and we will post information about these events on social media and send out another or email to everybody. Also, it's on the MTAS website event calendar. So we'll stay in the meeting for a couple of minutes to chat if anyone has any last questions. And we are finished early today. So thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.